I'm Strala the Dominator. You're not. Welcome to the podcast. Right, enough of that bollocks. Thank you very much for joining us once again on Stiff Right Hand. I'm here with the betrothed Tanya Allen.
Hello.
Oh, one of them moods, are we?
And also, if this is going to be a regular thing, why am I getting some fucking headphones?
You don't need them because I need them.
Why do you need them?
Because I need them because in case the computer tells me that the sound levels are off.
You don't know how to use a computer.
Well, how come I'm using it then? You shit jar. You don't know fuck all. Come on here, thinking it's all about you.
Well,
I'm here to tell you that it's not.
Well, ratings would suggest otherwise. I might point that glaring fucking statistic out to you.
So what have you been doing this week?
Working, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had a nice little trip away, didn't we?
Yeah, I went to Gosport.
A nice little trip up to Gosport to do a show for my friend Flatliner. We had a lot of interesting feedback last week on the chat with Titan. Few people were very interested to hear how many strings he's got to his bow and how talented the man behind all that grunting really is.
And how talentless you are both at singing.
Oh, no, it was fucking amazing.
It
was bloody brilliant. There was a harmony in that.
There was no harmony.
There was definitely a harmony involved.
The only harmony was a dog was howling somewhere in the land.
I think that's unfair. But there's a couple of people a little bit upset because we slaughtered Dean Ambrose on there. So of course, anytime
I find that genuinely distressing.
I thought it was fucking great because anytime you mention you slag off Dean Ambrose.
Is that just going to happen?
Yeah, it is. But of course, when everyone slags off Dean Ambrose to me. Yeah, that's what happens. So there you go. That's no intent.
That's fucking creepy.
It is, but there you go. But yeah, so let's talk about Wednesday night. We went to had a show out in Gosport for the Royal Navy.
It wasn't for the Royal Navy.
It wasn't for the Royal Navy. It was for Royal Navy.
Why are you lying?
The Royal Navy Association. I didn't even fucking finish. Out in Gosport for Flatliner. And Andy Simmons.
Yeah.
And it was a good night, wasn't it?
I really enjoyed it. That was a great night. It was a good laugh. And it was nice to see Chris.
Yeah. And so tell us about your opponent as well.
Okay. So my opponent was a little one called Zoe Lucas. And she's a plucky, very brave little thing that I wanged around for a good 15 minutes. So good on you, girl.
Well, she took it like a pro, didn't she?
Yeah, she's a sweetie pop. It's nice to meet young females that care about the business, that just sort of know when to drop the shit and attitude and just get some fucking work done.
Yeah,
I always appreciate that.
She'd been out to Japan, done a couple of bits like that, but she was happy to go there and get voted around by you, and she didn't complain, and she came back.
But she wasn't the way she was painted to me either. It's just sort of a couple of the lads were like, "Oh, she's been giving it the big shot about Japan." And when I met her, I was just like, "I don't think this girl could give it the big one about anything." She's an absolute little princess.
But one man's idea of giving it the big one and another is totally different. But I would say people tend not to do that with us anyway. But she seemed incredibly humble and nice, and you had a good match by all accounts.
Yeah. Well, lots of the fans came and spoke to us at the end and said there was match of the night. So.
Well, we had a phenomenal occurrance in our match with, of course, the ceiling.
Tell them about the event.
Well, the ceiling being incredibly low. My tag partner John, as you know, 6'7", standing in the ring for a test of strength, Roman knuckle lock with Flatliner, and of course shoots his hand up, goes straight through the ceiling. Upon pulling it back through the ceiling, brings down the air conditioning unit with him, which hits them both on the head, which was just fucking gold. Which Chris launched it in the crowd, and the fans were all loving it and passing it around the audience. It was, and we're talking a big, it's like a fucking.
Do you think we're going to be invited back? I'm going to guess no.
Well, probably not, but hey. I often get banned from. I'm banned from Fareham. I'm banned from Portsmouth. So Gosport. So it wouldn't make a whole bunch of difference to me. But it was a good night, and we enjoyed it, didn't we?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
said,
it messed me up. I was resting on a Wednesday night, and my body thought it was Saturday, and then the rest of the week was really hard work.
well, we're not used to it. We've been
No.
being the weekend warriors that we are. What about the climate? What do you think about
Well, it's
that?
been temperate.
No, I don't mean our climate. No, I'm talking about all this shit with like Texas. You know, it's everyone saying, "Oh, you know, you've got the president of the United States saying, oh, you know, I don't believe there is such thing as global warming," and yet you've got these fires in Los Angeles, you've got the flooding in Texas, everything's booting off all over the place.
I think someone just like made a Jesus puppet and explained it to him, like he might get it, but I don't even want to talk about Trump because I'm going to get very, very angry.
I want you to talk about Trump.
I don't want to. He's ridiculous. Why doesn't he self-tan his fucking eyes up? It's so weird.
Oh yeah.
But literally, like, there is a measurement of at work. We have like a measurement of when I don't want to do jobs. And my number one, DEFCON fucking 5, don't
But you're the
want to
boss.
do.
Why is it up for debate?
Well, no, because sometimes there are things that the boss has to do.
Right.
So.
Or like take the piss out of the general public.
Right. So we'll do like the list of things we'd rather do than that job. So like I would rather
tan Donald Trump's eye sockets.
I would rather go to dinner with Donald Trump and let him pay and then tweet that he did it.
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Oh, fucking horrible.
It's fucking dinner.
I'd kill myself.
I imagine how good that dinner would be.
I'd kill myself.
Fuck.
It'd be dreadful. He'd try and grab you on the pussy.
I don't care. He can grab me anywhere he wants. He's going to buy me a really shit hot dinner.
No, I don't think he wouldn't know what shit hot dinner would be.
Fuck. Well,
I bet like he thinks Nando's is really good.
If I was going to get a Nando's or 20 hot dogs out of it, I'd let him grab me on the pussy. It's perfectly simple. I don't think you're getting it. It's not about the quality, it's about the quantity.
Well, no, I neither give a fuck for Nando's nor 20 hot dogs. So.
Okay, so all right, let's talk about let's talk about some movies now, because that's what I want to talk about. And we've seen a couple of good horror films lately. Obviously, you're into similar genre of horror films like I am, like The Devil's Reject and all the Rob Zombie sort of pseudo B movie stuff. But recently, we've seen a couple of edgy ones. You saw one called Get Out.
Yeah.
Get out. Get the fucking. Will you fucking just get out? Get out. Get out. We saw that, and that was fucking. I was really surprised how good that was.
I found that one really. It stayed with me for ages, and I had to get out of bed and eat biscuits.
Get out. Get out. Get out and eat biscuits.
Some fucking gingerbread just to help me get over it. It was it was because you think it's a film about racism, and then it's not.
No.
And I don't even know how to discuss it without spoiling it.
Well, you can't do it without spoiling it, really. But it's very much a black guy goes to stay with his rich white in-laws, and who turn out to be, well, you can't really go any further than that. But it's got kind of Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel to, as you know, with regards to the claustrophobia and the being trapped feel.
More than that, and the trapped, it was the misdirection and the fact that the carpet was constantly being pulled.
There's loads of misdirection in it.
There is no when you think that it's safe, it's just getting worse and worse, and it's just and for me it was rather than the claustrophobia, it was the misdirection.
You're really good at normally second guessing movies like that, but
I'd second guessed one important part.
Yeah,
and I didn't. I specified that.
But it's still pulled the rug out from under you a little bit, didn't it?
God, yeah.
It was a very good film, so that's worth checking out. The other one we saw was
Berlin Syndrome.
The Berlin Syndrome, which we saw last night.
And you were saying about claustrophobia with Get
Out.
I think more so with the Berlin Syndrome. That was claustrophobic, and it started really art house, and I wasn't into it, but for that reason. But
anything that shows shadows of erect nipples is always going to be art house, isn't it?
Always, to me.
I spent years as a child before.
Wanking off to
Well,
Art House.
before finding my father's porn collection, which is every young man's dream, when you finally find that blank VHS tape at the back of the
Didn't you
cabinet.
struggle with the generational thing? I mean, because like your old man's porn must have been like really, really bush heavy.
It was surprisingly good. There was a lot. No, I can't even say what I'm going to say.
Go on.
No, no, I can't.
I just said bush heavy.
No, nothing compared to what I was thinking. But no, or is that one day when you're looking through and you think, oh, Goldfinger, Doctor No, see all these films, then all of a sudden, hold on, what's that? There's a VHS tape at the back of the cupboard with no label on it. What is it? And you put it on, and all of a sudden, it's like, it's like all your dreams come true. It's fucking 3 hours. 3 hours of fucking filth. But then, of course, we didn't have DVDs back then, so you had to make sure you remember to put that video back to exactly where you left it, in case your old man managed to know that your little spunky fingers had been all over his VHS tapes. But yeah, but before that, it was years of watching, late night porn on Romanian and Russian movies, and hoping you're going to get to see a glimpse of tit or something. So that was how that film felt to me a bit last night. But then when it got going, like you said, it was really claustrophobic and pretty creepy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was about a Australian tourist that is beguiled into spending a night with.
Oh, someone read this summary.
I'm a synopsis.
Oh, the synopsis.
No, it's just because I have a better.
That's all of acting, nothing of killing.
English language than you.
Get your own podcast, you peanut.
I wouldn't want to embarrass you.
Carry on with the synopsis.
Yeah, so
Barry Norman.
She fucks him, and then he basically like traps her into staying in his house. And as the name of the film would suggest,
as what happened with our relationship.
Yeah, and I never left. And actually, I'm doing this podcast under duress, so
I shouldn't say nothing.
This isn't.
No, don't listen to it. No, shut up.
Help me.
So good film, you'd say?
Yeah, I would give it 9 out of 7.
No, shut up. No, it was quite good, wasn't it?
It was pretty. I wouldn't want to watch it again. But
no, I want to.
It was, as we were saying, claustrophobic, and fucking uncomfortable, and it was just like, and it was one of those films that, like, when you identify with like a murderer.
Yes.
Like, you kind of understand.
I didn't like him. I found him very needy and just.
I understood him until he went a bit berserk. I kind of understood why. No,
I found him I found him dull as a villain, actually, if I'm honest. I didn't like. I thought he was too smooth. He looked like Rob Lowe. he had nice cheekbones. And I wanted to give him a cuddle, so there's no good really. I like my villains to be villains.
I think, to be honest, that would have sorted out the whole film and saved us 2 hours.
Sorry, yeah. But I want to see a good alien abduction film.
I do not want to see any.
I want to see a good found footage alien abduction film. And I want to make you sit there and watch that.
No, because I don't like them because of that one with the greys.
Well, there's ones out there, and I'm going to go and find them.
No, I hated it.
The other thing I wanted to talk about our show, the show we did in Gosport, where a lot of people don't see what a nice human being flatliner Chris Manns really is. He's been for a hell of a lot. He's had half his stomach removed and everything. He's never fucking complained about it. He's been a really, really good friend to me, and he carried my father's coffin at my dad's funeral and everything. He's done an awful lot for me. But one of the nicest things I thought that he did was when there was a couple of right nasty looking little reprobates came in. They were obviously part of a local care home or something, or a little borstal or something, and came in with a couple of his carers, and he said, "Oh, I don't. Nobody hates." What was the word? I can't remember the phrase he used. He said, "No, nobody hates authority more than me." He said, "But these guys are giving you a good night out, taking you to the wrestling, so behave yourselves for them and that." And introduced them to all the guys and had their pictures and everything taken with them. And I remember looking over at you and Big John, and I thought it was really touching, and yeah.
Yeah, he's got a really great, a naturally great way with people, and
You'll not be eating crisps when we're recording this.
I am eating a packet.
So I'm not asking you for fucking much.
Well, until I get
10
paid,
minutes
I'm going to eat what's-its. Other cheese-based snacks are available.
10 minutes of your fucking time, people don't want to hear you eating fucking crisps.
Yeah, they do.
Well, I think that's fucking antisocial. I don't know if there's any need for it.
Right, anyway.
But I think Chris is massively, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, funny don't make money and everything. But I'm sorry, Chris Mann's is always, and he's not as limited as he fucking makes out in his wrestling at all. He's very, very clever, very, very savvy. He's a very good business.
On and hilarious.
I think Chris is probably one of the very most intelligent people I know. He's incredibly sharp. He's not just funny. He's a very sensitive guy. I'm not just saying this guy knows listening, but he is an incredibly sharp geezer. Just one little thing I'll let everyone in on that he did with me, and only Chris could have got away with this. Anyone else would have got a smack in the mouth. When I asked him to carry on my dad's funeral, so we were standing at the back of the hearse, just about to draw the coffin out to put up onto our shoulders, and Chris looked over the top of the coffin at me, and I thought, oh, there's a moment of clarity here. He's going to say something sensitive. He's going to say something emotional to me, and he just looked at me and he said, Stu. And I said, yes, mate. And he said, I won the dads. And I was like, you fucking cunt. And it was one of those things that only he could have done, and I'll always love him for that. I think some of the things he does for people, and just watching him in his own domain, like I say, he described once to himself as a cigarette that everyone draws off all the time, and sometimes there's nothing left for himself. I can really see that, but what a wonderful fucking warm character, and if you ever get a chance to see him, do so, because you know, much like all of us, he's not going to be on the wrestling scene forever, so do go and see him. Why are you holding a WhatsApp? I don't want it.
I wasn't offering it you. I
Well,
was
it looked like you were holding a WhatsApp.
He said that I looked like Pete Burns once, which was hilarious and devastating.
I know. Tell me about it. I married Pete Burns. That was the first time we ever met.
Yeah.
And when we went to get some suits for the wedding, just before he got really, really ill, and he went, "Oh fucking hell, Pete Burns." And I didn't know how to take it because it was sort of.
I just looked at you like I fucking dare you to laugh.
Well, I had a little bit of a crush on Pete Burns when I was a kid, so it didn't really fucking bother me too much either way. But we've got a little sort of thing coming up now that people have been very keen for me to do. So it's.
In all fairness, that person is the absolute cunt of the week.
Thank you, Brian Dixon. So we're going to be doing the cunt of the week.
Cunt of the week!
So, yeah, basically, I've chosen my cunt of the week this week, and it's not anyone involved in the wrestling business. It's the politician, Jacob Rees-Mogg. Now, for me, this is going to some people, be switched right off immediately now, but for those still carrying on listening, I'm very much right-wing Tory for my sins. A lot of people know that, and my views are quite strong. But I've really... The one thing about British politics that I think's really fucking good is that, unlike the Americans, we don't use religion. We don't bring religion into it. And this bellend's just been on TV talking with Piers Morgan and pushing his Catholic fucking doctrine on everyone and saying that people, you know, you shouldn't have gay marriage, which is bullshit because it was the Tories that brought in gay marriage anyway. And second of all, that, you know, he was absolutely totally bang against abortion, even if you've been raped, which is the Tories wanting to get away from this stuffy, elitist fucking image that they've got. Don't put that fucking prick in front of the cameras. Do you know what I mean? What do you think of that?
I think if they want to step away from that image and push a slightly more liberal agenda, they need to push forward women like Priti Patel, who is a young, vibrant Tory politician. I also think that, Mr. Rees-Mogg, you should keep your politics out of our vaginas, please, because unless you suddenly become a woman...
There's another T-shirt quote.
Keep your politics out of my cunt.
Another T-shirt there, kids.
Basically, bodily autonomy is thus that a woman has say in this country over her body 100% of the time. So his religious beliefs really matter fucking little. Like, he doesn't have he shouldn't be using his platform to spout his Catholic agenda. And I certainly didn't like it, which is a shame because I always found him to be like fairly witty.
I always
whenever
thought he was
on,
all right, but
Have
he
I Got
showed
News
his
for You?
arse.
Yeah, I massively
Showed his arse, and I thought, I've got no time for. I don't think if there was an election, I don't think I could vote. In all honesty,
And the gay marriage thing is just fucking
it's so
ridiculous.
archaic.
Love is love. It doesn't matter if you like men, women, a truck.
I would never vote for someone
A
that.
packet of Wotsits.
Fuck off with these Wotsits.
I'm gonna marry these Wotsits.
Oh, your breath's no picnic either, sharing this platform with you with cheesy fucking Wotsit breath. Christ, no, don't. That's bollocks. Don't be breathing that shit to me. But I'm not. We're supposed to be serious political show. Oh no, it isn't. It isn't at all. Is it?
I believe that Wotsits are the future.
Well, yes. It's only the Wotsits that are keeping people fucking listening, probably.
Right.
So, but I'm fucking livid that this stupid prick has come on it and decided to thrust his religion down everyone's throats and he didn't even have the good sense to say, well, that's my Catholic views, that's nothing to do with my political views. He didn't even say that. He let it be ambiguous. So now everyone's now bashing the Tories, and I'm like, do you know what? Fuck yeah, actually. I've got no time for it. I think he's made a right dick of himself.
I think we should make our own political party, and then we can have like fucking marriage for everyone, abortions for everyone, and Wotsits for everyone. How's that for?
Well, yeah, I'd say that's fair.
He's not a nice person, not mild and meek. It's Big Stu Allen's Cunt of the Week.
So the cunt of the week this week, thank you Flatliner by the way, Jacob Rees-Mogg.
What a cunt.
So far, first ever cunt of the week, what a cunt. What else? How was your day today?
It was alright.
Did you deal with any annoying elderly folk?
No, not really. Just lots of mums that like thought their child was the most special child.
Well, the kids are back at school now, aren't they?
No, not all of them.
Aren't they?
Apparently not all of them.
Oh.
So I had a bunch of mums that, you know, the type that think their kid is like the very best child that's ever been born.
Oh.
You know, they'll order one coffee with 6 notes. That sort of boring woman.
I won't upset any more people. I'm going to try and figure out my Skype in a minute and have a chat with our co-anchor Liam Dowe.
How is that pilot?
Well, I don't know. I've no idea. I'm going to try and
Is he dead?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to try and figure out Skype and speak to him shortly in a minute, so we can get this shit on the road and discuss our upcoming show, October 21st in Hastings. We've got this platform to plug our show. We haven't even done it. So our wonderful show, October 21st.
We'll do that next week.
Yeah, well, I want to do it now. Discussing very, very sad bit of news. One of the greatest wrestlers of our generation, Jinx, who's a phenomenal performer, is having to retire due to bad, not so much bad health, but his body's fucked basically. His spine, the top of his spine. He's wrestled for 2 years with a broken neck. One of the most dedicated wrestlers I've ever seen. One of the most underrated performers I've ever seen. And his road's come to an end. I had a very sad chat with him the other day, and devastating whenever you lose a friend from wrestling. But he's chosen EWW to be the platform for his last show, so I'm enormously honoured with that. And he's going to be wrestling you, Scarlett. Well, no, so by the time this goes out, it will be known that that's the match. So that's going to be
so excited.
Yeah, that had to be the match. It was the logical conclusion for that.
So excited, an absolute honour to see Jinx out.
If none of you have seen Jinx, the gimmick is just incredible.
And it's genuinely intimidating.
It's a genuinely terrifying gimmick, and very, very. He's so good at playing that. But not only that, the man behind the gimmick he's great for all the up and coming wrestlers, the students.
He's the locker room captain, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is the locker room captain. He's my Undertaker, he's my Mark Calloway. He comes in there and he...
and you do not fuck him off. And if you have done, well, shit.
Yeah, Jace is...
Do you remember that time when the babies didn't shake his hand and introduce themselves to him, and he pulled me of everyone who was like, oh, is that how you're teaching them in the school? And I was like, no.
Yeah. As soon as you Jace go, excuse me, brother, can I have a word?
Oh,
like, oh, fuck me, what's happened now? But he's, like I say, hugely underrated. To me, one of the very greatest wrestlers that Europe's ever produced. and it's
He
criminal.
just makes everything look so
He
fucking
makes
good.
everything and everyone look good. He's so sharp. He's so on it. And the worst bit is that he's still bang on the mark now, and it's so sad. But I'm honoured that he's going to be having his last show on my show.
Stiff right hand.
I'm just fucking trying to get my head around this bloody Skype nonsense. But a lot of you people have been asking for him, which is baffling for me personally. But here he is, Mr. Co-anchor. Let's get ready to mumble.
Fucking brilliant. I get new music every fucking week.
It's Mr. Liam Dowe.
Oh, mate, I don't mind this music. I like this.
There's a bit of
A bit of Spanish Flea.
it's got you written all over it, mush.
Hello.
Hello, it's the music of mediocrity.
We need fucking Organist Entertains next.
Don't you start going on about that.
You fucking love that show.
Every time we go posting, that's on the radio. The Organist entertains some lunatic sitting on a Wurlitzer.
Oh, fucking brilliant.
For my entertainment. Yeah, for those who don't know, Liam is one of the main writers for EWW, and for those who didn't listen to the first episode where he was rather brashly called the T-Boy.
Yeah.
Rude.
Fucking rude.
Fucking rude. A hateful carry on that was. But more than anything, and most importantly, this was one of his ideas for me to get this going, and also he edits it and posts it, so it's your fault, really, Liam.
I brought this onto the fucking world, haven't I?
Yeah, you brought it. It's your fault, but it's doing quite well, isn't it? It
fucking well.
It appears to be doing well. People, I was at the gym just now, and people said, "Oh, loving your podcast and that," and we're going to take it on the road with us to Norwich next week, and we're going to try and I'm going to try and get absolutely everyone involved with it.
Oh mate, I can't wait to edit that. That's going to be fucking brilliant.
It's going to be hilarious. Literally, we're going to have everyone. I'm going to grab hold of Medusa. I'm going to get Scott all involved. I'm going
to grab hold of Medusa.
Well, you know,
wow.
Got to have some perks of the job. But I'm going to get everyone involved in it, and it's going to be fantastic. But we need to talk about some things wrestling related, don't we? You just missed me, actually. In fact, we just announced the first ever Cunt of the Week, which was you'll be pleased to know was Jacob Rees-Mogg from the Conservative Party.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm quite happy about that.
Exactly.
That's fucking different.
Exactly, but I mean, we were just discussing about how absolutely ludicrous he went on TV and was. Speaking to Piers Morgan about how he's anti-abortion, even if you've been raped, and this and that and the other, and these other archaic Catholic views.
Wasn't he also saying about how he's against gay marriage?
Yeah, and it's just don't for fuck's sake mix politics with religion. It's bullshit.
I think the best fucking thing that came of that is that loads of people on Twitter pretty much just fucking spammed him with gifs of men kissing.
Well, I wish I'd seen that.
But fucking brilliant.
But I mean, consider I know you and I, we've got different political views and that, but
yeah. But that's the thing. As friends, you shouldn't talk about politics with friends, but. At the end of the day, This is saying I'm quite happy we've agreed on this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think it's, I don't think I'd actually be able to vote for the Tories in any time soon. I can't agree with anything that they're doing, and they're certainly not distancing themselves from they're parodies of themselves, and unfortunately they should have come out with a younger leader and. But they're not giving the people what they want, and they're by coming out and giving interviews like that. By God, not doing
marrying up with the DUP can't really be helping their cause either, because they're all against all kind of like gay rights and women's rights in that gender section as well. So
yeah. So
there's got to be some fucking bringing some truth to it.
Yeah. So I was more than happy to make him the first ever cunt of the week.
Perfect. Fucking brilliant.
But
Well deserved.
What did you want? How's your funny little life going?
Funny little life.
What do you want? Your little Sylvanian family's world that you live in? Live in a teapot.
I live in a fucking shoe.
Shoe surrounded by little fluffy animals.
I love that life.
You do. It's your life. Why do you do it? So, you've got like the best job in the world. You go around looking at video games.
Pretty much. Yeah, that is pretty much my job.
Tell us what you've been doing.
So, I had an event the other week, actually, where I spoke to a load of indie developers and pretty much told them how they can get money back from the government on that fucking topic. So, yeah, it's pretty much what I do. I work in finance, but I work in finance for the video games industry.
That's an awesome job for you, isn't it?
Oh, fucking right on my alley. Absolutely love it.
You were the first person to really get me, interested in this podcast malarkey anyway with your Fragfest stuff. Yeah, that's where I pretty much know from, like, editing and, like, well, not so much editing, but doing podcasts and actually being host and things like that. And just, I used to do a fucking podcast, like, every week. I think there's, like, 200 episodes out there of us talking about video games. It's fucking ridiculous. But, that's how I pretty much got into this job as well. It's wonderful, but what an incredible job from going from all those mundane, miserable bastard jobs that you used to...
God, when we first met, I was in some fucking of a job, weren't I?
Awful.
Yeah.
But then, but to have this come your way, what a fucking result!
Fucking made up with that one, yeah.
Especially
100%.
Christmas, with Christmas around the corner now, the old games market's going to be booming, I should imagine, isn't it?
It's so busy at the moment. It's one of the reasons why I've not been able to get down to fucking book anything on this show.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's been fucking duly noted, my friend. Double posting duty for you, you naughty boy.
I fully fucking expect that, yeah.
But listen, on the video games front, because obviously Tarn monopolises my fucking Xbox One. With 24-hour solo marathons, and I haven't had a chance to. I've just actually have managed to spend some time on the new Injustice game, which was awesome.
I knew you'd love that.
Oh,
yeah.
Mate, it's the bollocks. But is there any good stuff coming out that you think that I'd be interested in, or?
Depends what you're into, but there's a game I'm playing at the moment on PC called PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, which is pretty much like the Hunger Games, but with automatic weapons.
Wow.
It's fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, 100 people on a map. Pretty much a circle goes around you, like a circle of electricity pretty much, and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and pushes all the players into the centre of the map. And you've got to fucking battle it out between each other. It is intense.
Damn.
Fucking intense.
See, that's
really good fun.
I'm missing out there because there's a lot of... I was talking to one of my mates who's a fella I work with, and he was saying that there's so much good stuff on the PC.
Oh yeah, totally. It's cheaper to buy the games. It's more expensive to obviously fucking buy a PC and do it because you need a pretty meaty PC. But the good thing about that game, it's coming to Xbox and it's also coming to PS4.
Really? And what's it called again?
Yeah, so... PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
Oh man, I'm gonna check that out there. I was really gutted. I loved that the franchise, the Red Dead Redemption franchise, and then they've gone and put that game right back now.
Yeah, they have. But it's Rockstar time. They're constantly doing it. Look how long it took for GTA 5 to come out. It kept getting delayed, but it's worth it because it's going to be something of quality. So there is rumours though. There's rumours GTA 6 is on the horizon as well.
Oh mate, honestly, that game for me, I could quite happily have been unemployed during that time and just spent my days wanking and stinking and playing that because that was so immersive, that game.
Fucking brilliant. Well,
it's true though, isn't it? There's something
so many
about
hours.
Video games like that just you think, well, I don't want to go out. I don't want to go into the real world anymore. This is good enough for me. and when the end came, I felt legitimately depressed. So there you go.
It's exactly the same about Red Dead Redemption. By the time I finished that, I was like, I want to be a fucking cowboy. Yeah. I want to go back to the fucking West and just be a fucking cowboy. It's fucking brilliant.
Well, I spend a lot of time running around fields chasing after animals anyway, so
that's my weekend.
It's no different. But what else? What else do you know? You watched Raw, didn't you?
I didn't watch Raw itself.
You did. You loved it.
I don't do it. No, I can't stand it nowadays. It's fucking so contrived. But I have seen people on social media bleat on about this fucking Roman Reigns and John Cena.
I've heard about it only because I was listening to. I think I was listening to Jim Cornette and one of his guys talking about it, and it was like some work shoot, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, they said it's a work shoot, but Mel's has come out and said that it was all fucking scripted, which, to be fair, in this fucking era, fuck the Melzer. Patu.
Chapeau! I will always be a Bolshevik.
I'll always be a Bolshevik. Oh, fucking hell, we could do a whole story on that fucking whole podcast on those fucking stories.
Porch stories.
Old flat tours. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, fucking hell. But yeah.
Because I haven't seen it, I've just heard about it.
Mel's has come out and said that it's scripted, which I have to believe in, because nowadays all WWE promos are scripted. They pretty much had a like an argument in the ring, and Cena pretty much, the biggest controversial bit of it is that Roman Reigns stuttered on his lines when it came to his promo, and Cena turned round and said, "It's called a promo. If you want to be the big dog, you need to learn how to do it." And
damn.
Yeah. So a fucking good burn, but seriously, I can't think, but it must have been fucking scripted, because everything is so scrutinised now.
I'd have punched his jaw loose.
I know you fucking I would have paid to see it as well.
Fucking cheeky cunt. Fuck me. What a thing to say.
The thing is, everyone's getting so excited about it. Everyone's like, oh, like real wrestling promos are back. It's like bullshit. It's not. We used to get this like every fucking week on Raw or SmackDown. Like Stone Cold and The Rock used to fucking have these long promos where they used to just fucking slate each other. And they were fucking actually shooting from the hip and being their characters. They weren't getting scripted.
That's the reason why that's the reason why people do get so overly excited now, isn't it? Because it is so massively scripted, and then if they do go slightly off kilter like that, then everyone loses their fucking mind. Exactly.
It was like one of the biggest things in the pro wrestling in the last few weeks, and to say that's the biggest thing in the wrestling in the past few weeks is fucking sad. It's a sad reality.
Holy shit, man! Christ, if that was the highlight of TV last week, John Cena cutting a promo, fuck that.
Exactly. Fucking.
I don't want any part of it. I don't want any part of it.
But another good thing that is coming up is obviously the next EWW show.
Yes, well, that's the thing, isn't it? October 21st, it's going to be some awesome matches, and like I say, by the time this goes out, the matches will all be announced. But it's going to be the Children of Eden, which is obviously you horrible pricks, which is going to be a hell of a match against Doug Williams and Jody Fleisch.
That is going to be awesome.
Which I should think, by all accounts, would be a dream match for you.
Oh, totally, mate. Yeah, two proper seasoned veterans that have been around the world. What more can I fucking ask for?
Well, two of the very, very best, in my opinion, that have ever come out of this country. So it's awesome.
And two very different styles as well.
Yeah, hugely different. But I'm very excited about that match. There's some cracking matches. I say we've gone away from the. I feel with EWW it was getting a little bit. Even though we moved venues went into a huge new venue, I couldn't help feeling that it was all getting a bit fucking safe, and that's and so we've kind of blooded a few new academy students and brought them in and thought, well, fuck it, let's give them a fucking go.
Yeah, totally.
And some of the bookings are a bit different than I'd go for, babies versus babies, etc., etc. But I thought, no, do you know what? I want to try something new, because I think we've got a really good crowd. We've got a crowd who follow our product and are invested in the characters. So therefore, I think it deserves a little bit of new blood, and it deserves a new take on the matches. So let's go for it. And I think with the fact that Jinx is having his very, very last match, he's chosen EWW as the platform to have it, I think that's a massive seller in itself.
That run I hit on Facebook today, man. I knew nothing about that. I didn't know Jinx was doing. Yeah, I didn't know Jinx was doing that one last match.
I didn't.
So...
Because I forget who I've spoken to recently and who I haven't. You know the way my head works.
You know it works.
Not very well. But I spoke to him, and he's the poor guy. He wrestled for 2 years with a broken neck. The base of his spine's gone. He's got a lot of bad nerve damage, and he described his waking up routine to me as, the evolution of man. And I can totally sympathise with, the guy's, he's married, obviously, he's still a young guy. It's tragic. It's really tragic.
And such a fucking performer as well. Such an amazing talent.
Hugely,
it really is.
Hugely underrated, but one of the finest gimmicks that this country's ever seen, and one of the best wrestlers. So it's a real honour that he's choosing to do that on our show, and I think we should sell it thusly.
Yeah, that was a real knuckle biter when I saw that today. That was like, oh man, that got me in the feels. It got
me in the feel. Matana and I were just about to go out to have a meal at our local here, and it was I got the message from him, and I just had to lean against the wall to take it in because it felt like I'd been smashed in the stomach. It was horrible, and especially knowing how much he loves the business, and how much I said to him, I still want you about. I know it's going to fucking hurt, but I still want you about because, he's so. As I said to Tarn earlier on, I said it's like, he's our Undertaker, he's our backstage go-to guy.
Absolutely, totally. He's such a safe pair of hands.
He's a safe pair of hands. He loves the business. What he doesn't know about psychology and all the intangibles that make a good match, it isn't worth knowing. And
the thing is, everyone respects him, and all the younger guys look up to him. But at the same time, Jinx, he's got time for them.
Yeah, he has, and
that's what matters.
And he doesn't blow smoke up people's ass. If you've been shit, he'll tell you shit, but he'll tell you why you were shit.
Yeah, exactly that.
And one of the things he always says to people, and they say to him, what should I do? And he says, slow down.
Yeah,
slow the fuck down. He said that's always the thing that young kids getting into wrestling always they never know. He said, slow down. Mm-hmm. And all you need to do is watch how methodical he is in the ring, and anyone can learn from him. But it's devastating. But it will make it a great send off for him.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly that.
And so that's good. I've got this is going to be quite a packed episode. We got Brett Meadows. He's going to be doing a show.
Oh, Brett!
He's going to be doing. He's doing a show in High Wycombe on Saturday night. So he's coming up tomorrow night to stay. So we're going to do a little movie review section on here as well. So so that's going to be good. So it's going to be. And a nice little mixture of nonsense.
I know he's just seen the new It film as well, which looks to be fucking
Yeah, I know,
good.
Don't we all know it? He's fucking banging on about it all day.
He loves his films.
He loves the dear old Brett. Oh, I think everybody cares about what I'm doing. No, we don't.
I'm doing a thing.
Everyone needs to know about it. But anyway, I guess I should let you go and get on with your evening because you're probably going to want to go and diddle with your biscuits and in some back room somewhere like a deviant.
All I will is say one thing.
What's that?
I can't wait to see Jeff Leppard.
He's amazing, mate. It was a toss-up between we were going for that or Brian Maiden.
Oh, fucking brilliant. Oh, Jeff Leppard, though, still. That's a better choice.
Jeff Leppard, I was thrilled to bits with.
Hastings does not know what it's got coming to it.
No, Hastings doesn't fucking know, mate. I tell you. It's going to be something to behold.
Oh, brilliant. All right, mate.
But listen, it's been real, dude. And like I said, I don't know. I don't know what else to say to you. I just thought I'd come up with this.
Brilliant.
Bit of Incredible Hulk walking away music for you.
Go now.
So it's you walking off down a dirt road with your backpack on.
Perfect.
Thumb in a lift, and someone's just driven past you and splashed you with a puddle.
That's my fucking life, mate.
I think, no, that was your fucking missus. You're still there with your little thumb out. No one cares. There's your raggedy little bum hanging out the back like it always is. So there he goes, off into the distance. Liam Dowe, everybody. I'll see you next week.
Laters.
Alright, dude. Excellent.
Stiff right hand.
Before we talk to my guest this week, Brett Meadows, going to. I was listening to something in the car on the way to the gym, and I thought, fuck, perhaps I've gone and perhaps I've gone and done the cunt of the week too soon. There's this Swiss couple mountain walking in the French Alps, and they called the rescue helicopter out to them. And when the rescue helicopter landed, obviously landed in the French Alps is no fucking mean feat, I shouldn't think, but was like, oh, where's the injured person? They weren't injured. They were fucking tired. Can you fucking believe it? The woman was tired. She couldn't be bothered to walk anymore, so wanted a lift. I'd have fucking strung that cunt up by her ankles if I'd have been flying that helicopter and banged her head on every fucking mountain on the way back down again. Cheeky cunt. Unbelievable, people. So there you go. So I thought, while we're here, might as well get to some listeners' questions. I get asked a lot of silly questions, but you get a few good ones as well sometimes. I got one here from my mate Chris in Lincoln, sent me a good one. Said, it's quite simple. He said, I'd like to ask you what's your craziest moment in wrestling's been? I've had several. I don't only mean in wrestling in the ring or, road stories or whatnot, but probably one of the silliest things I remember from EWW shows was a little spot with Johnny Storm, and we were going to drop the house lights down. And I was going to throw this fireball across the ring and hit my opponent with it. But unfortunately, the house lights went down. I threw the best fucking fireball, man. It was a beauty, huge fucking thing, lit up like a fucking pumpkin. It was awesome. Threw it across the ring and caught Johnny with it and burnt most of Johnny's eyebrows off. And so that stunk. And Johnny running around the ring and he's high pitched enough as it is, but that was pretty fucking bad. I don't know if you call that. I don't know if you're quite crazy, but I certainly remember that. I was also asked who would be your dream match, dead or alive. Well, I'd probably say for me a tag match with the Steiners or a singles match with Vader. It wouldn't be pretty, but those guys work nice and snug the way I like to work, and obviously a match with Vader wouldn't be pretty, but I always loved him, man. I always loved watching his stuff. Whether he was on with small guys, whether he was on with big guys, whether it was squashes or whether it's competitive matches, I always thought they were fantastic and really, really good. And I think that would have to be the choice for me. If I'm perfectly honest, I always thought he could bring the best out in pretty much anybody. My mate Dan Curtis, Crusher, he's asked if Dominator could fight 3 people on the British wrestling scene and not get arrested for it, who would those 3 be and why? Well, not get arrested for it, fight. I think by that you mean who would I like to smash in the fucking face? I haven't got that much heat with anyone. So you'll be surprised to know. I'm sure there's people who don't like me or don't agree with my views and don't like some of the things I do, but I don't care. It doesn't mean I've got hate with them. Probably, I'd say who would those 3 people be and why? I'd say probably Grado is probably all 3 actually. He's the only guy I've really got a problem with, just because he tried to call me out publicly on the internet when they did the World of Sport thing on TV, and I was genuinely looking forward to it actually. Got a couple of friends who were doing it, and I was genuinely, excited for it. But when Jim Ross went and called Grado the new Dusty Rhodes, wow, fuck. Oh, that was the best. I'm sure he's a nice guy, whatever. I was like, man, I don't get it. I'm sorry. That's not just a gimmick, being a talent, a talentless slob. with a bit of, with a bit of bravado and cheeky monkery. That's just you, mate. That's not a gimmick. That's just you. You just overcompensating for the fact that you're shit. And but I didn't even put that up on Facebook. I just said, if it wasn't my cup of tea, and straight away he's come on there all upset and said, there's a few bitter people on here, especially the ones in face paint who've never drawn a dime. Well, I've drawn many dimes, my friend, off my own back, not off anyone else's. And he didn't fancy it when I offered it back at him, but he was just happy to have a pop. And like I said, if I do see him on a wrestling show at any point, he's going to get one in the fucking chops. Perfectly simple. I don't play silly shit. I don't talk silly shit. I'll do what I say I'm going to do. And to me, when the nearest thing to live entertainment in your hometown is the fucking Dole queue, then yes, I'm sure you are going to be a big fucking success. But until then, pal, keep it on the internet, and we'll fucking wait and see what happens when I do see you. You fucking penis. Next question. Again from Dan Curtis, Flatliner, Jinx and Cinders, fight, fuck and marry. Well, that's ridiculous. Fight, it'd have to be Flatliner, because it's you're basically copping a face full of arsehole anyway, so you might, it's a lot easier to fight him than fuck him. Jinx, I can imagine Jinx would make a lovely wife. I can imagine him, you wouldn't have to say too much to him, would you? Have a nice quiet evening watching a movie, and so that means I've just got to fuck Cinders now, so... Oh, I didn't even like that question. Next one. From Charlie Eastman. Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay? Come on. You know the answer to this. Fuck pineapple, man. Fuck pineapple. It's just fucking disgusting. There's two things I really fucking despise. It's mixing sweet and savoury and food with sex. Fuck that. Fucking the idea of licking cream or chocolate off someone's body, or have them lick it off mine, I find fucking disgusting, because I enjoy dessert and I enjoy sex, but not together or matted together. Imagine that old chocolate matted together in your old pubes. It looked like you've done dirty protest. Disgusting. And I don't want it. I don't want any part of it. Do you understand? It's fucking horrible. So what was the original question? I can't even remember what the original fucking question was. Yeah, pineapple on pizza, fuck no. I love pizza and I love pineapple, but not together. Hell no. George Christopoulos. Hello, George. Why did you offer everyone out for a fight in Bremen? I didn't. I was trying to wrap my brains when I read this, and I said to Tan, I didn't offer everyone out for a fight, did I? I can't remember what I had for dinner last night, let alone what happened when I wrestled. And then I thought, hang on, now I know what he's talking about. There's a promoter in Germany called Eddie Steinblock who likes to bring big guys over, and you have to do the job for Eddie. That's his deal. He's an old movie star in Germany, and he gets the biggest guys he can find, and you go over there, do 6 or 7 rounds, which will be the longest time of your fucking life, and then you do the job. And it's cool. It's a well-paid gig, and it was nice. It was in Hamburg. We got to see Hamburg, which is where I was born, and it was really nice getting to take the wife there and that. But then we went to Bremen, and one of the wrestlers was supposed to carry the Union Jack out for me, and his name was Bad Bones. Good-looking guy, good physique, looked really good, looked kind of like a young, sort of stone cold Steve Austin. Really, good-looking geezer. And he was supposed to carry the Union Jack flag out with me, and he'd looked at me sideways a couple of times, and he didn't carry the flag out for me. So afterwards, I said, "Were you too good to carry the flag out?" And he's like, "What's your fucking problem?" And so I said, quite simply, I said, "Talk to me like that again, pal. So let's fucking go outside." I said, "I'll fucking do you right now. Let's fucking go outside." And he was just fresh off his little thing he did with TNA, and he apologised and said, "I'm sorry, man. I've had no sleep," and blah blah blah. Didn't explain why he didn't carry the fucking flag out for me, but he was very apologetic in front of the boys. But yeah, I got a fucking arsehole with him actually over that. And don't come in and fucking try and cut a promo on me in front of the boys, because I will fucking just go outside and do it. I'm not interested in chit chat. I'd rather just go out there and fucking have it. And that was the end of that. So, but I've spoken to him since, and he seems like a good guy. He's getting booked fucking everywhere, so he's doing something right. And I'm sure I'll see him down the road somewhere. But yeah, fair fucking play to him on that one. Neil in Bexhill, who would you like to face for the WWE tag titles with Titan? Wow, that's a good question. We've got an interesting match coming up with against two of my high-flying students at our October 21st show, which is going to be really unusual, but I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a little rite of passage for those two boys. But I'd really love... a few people have mentioned it, that they'd be interested in seeing it as well. Would be putting us on with War Machine, the two big guys from the States who I've spoken to a couple of times, really lovely fellas. Don't know whether it will work. I mean, I did 4 big guys in the ring. It could be a clusterfuck. It could be cool. I know those guys like doing a lot of spots. Me and Jonk, we're a bit more hard hitting and fucking. We're not so flamboyant, So I think maybe that probably would work as a match. So I'd have to say the War Machine lads. And also he asked, what was your favourite match and why? Oh, God, so many matches that I look back on and I'm really proud of and I love. I've never really thought of one particular match where I'd turn around and say that was my favourite. I think one of my best ones in recent years was my cage match with Phil Bedwell. It was for a cage match. It was short, but it was really fucking hard hitting, man. It was a culmination of a big story, and it was very hard hitting. We both really went at it. It was beautiful. We called it in there. It was hard. It was awesome. Phil's selling, and it is absolutely top notch. Beautiful storytelling. It was great. The finish was fucking sweet too. It was on a show, The Good, the Red, and the Ugly. If you get a chance, please have a look at it, because I'm very proud of that match. And also some of the matches I've done with the UK Hooligans, Zach and Roy Knight, have done some tag matches when I was with my old tag partner Charlie Rage's Death Row. We had some real fun matches against the Hooligans, man. Crazy fucking shit. Just getting hit with all kinds of fucking things, and it was it was as close to a real Wild West bar and brawl that you could ever see. It was other than the saloon doors and someone falling through a window, we pretty much did everything. That was a lot of fun, so I'd have to say that. So thanks for your questions this week, guys. And now we're going to go and have a little chat with the horror guy, Brett Meadows, and talk movies.
Stiff right hand.
Right, I'm here with a very controversial figure in British wrestling. He's the man known to some as Scrabrados, to me personally, but to others he's known as Damien, and to others he's known as just Brett Meadows. Hello, Brett.
Sir Selfie, mate.
Oh, fuck, no.
You love Sir Selfie.
No, Sir Selfie's...
Mate, I'm going to give you a laminated poster.
Well, it needs to be laminated. Sir Selfie's something that has gone out of control.
You fucking love it.
It's gone out of control. It's your fascination with your own hair. And it's gone out of control. And I'm personally going to spend the rest of my career trying to blacklist you like Sexy Star.
That'll be 5 minutes then.
Hello. He started early. Have you had a coffee yet? What's going on? Right, come on. Let me tell you now. Welcome to Stiff Right Hand, brother.
Hello.
This is the Room of Doom.
Mate, I'm in the Room of Doom.
Darn's Kitchen.
I'm looking for the cake.
Oh, hello. What's booting off here?
Where you come for the cake?
I had a toe in your face.
Mate,
He's all over the blower already.
Sorry, mate. I'm going to
all over it. That'll be Jane. What are you doing?
It's not Jane.
What are you doing?
She don't give a shit what I am.
Your lunatic pedestrian lifestyle that you live. So come on, tell me all about yourself. I want to know how you got into the wrestling business.
One day I wanted to be a wrestler, so I did. When I was younger, I always loved all the stuff. I think, like a lot of people, I didn't have Sky when I was young because we were poor.
Oh.
We used to wheel Grandad around the Christmas tree and make him sneeze to decorate the tree. So I used to get VHSs of wrestling that people used to record on Sky for me. And I think, like a lot of people, I loved bad guy, good guy gimmicks. It's like the good versus the evil, isn't it?
What was the sort of thing that really caught your imagination?
I don't know,
with
it's
it?
just the big characters, like like your Hogans, your Warriors, like some crazy nut job running to the ring, shaking the ropes.
So you weren't you were introduced to the American stuff before you saw the British stuff?
Mate, yeah, I vaguely remember the British stuff, but I don't.
Even though you are 50,
I think I was a bit too young to really pick up on the British stuff. That's true, and also I had a black and white TV that used to have to hit and get the screen to work, so I think it was just too much hassle to watch.
So what was the first line of you getting into wrestling? Where did you go? And
I initially, I think Dixon was running Charter Hall years ago, and I wanted to be a wrestler. And my old dear worked for the newspaper, and so they rang up to advertise a show. She went, "Oh, my son wants to get into wrestling." I went to the show, got bored, left, and then I think the Knights WAW contacted the newspaper. I think it was Julia, and had a big old chat with me, old dear, and they had Jake the Snake Roberts doing a training seminar. I was like, "Holy fuck, Jake Roberts, I'm there, brother."
so that must have been around what, 2004?
2002.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, 2002.
So that was at the time when they were doing
1986.
When he was headlining Mania, brother.
So that was around the time when they were doing their huge first Fightmare show, wasn't it?
I think they'd just done the first big Fightmare, and I went along just after that. But no, it was cool. I think for anyone anywhere that wants to be a wrestler, I don't know if there's anywhere better to get your base from. Do you know what I mean? Like they drum it into you. It was good. I had some good times.
It's a really good academy. It's fucking. I always send a lot of people there 'cause we get a lot of people who come to us and ask about training kids, and I've me, I haven't got any fucking time for most people, but let alone. But I know that the Knights have got all the time in the world for that, and that's a safe place for the youngsters to learn, and they've proved it with their track record. So you're a young, good-looking man with lovely long blonde hair, and you look very similar to Edge.
Mate, I still do. How dare you?
Well, things have gone a bit downhill, haven't they? Let's be honest. But
I can't wear the skin tight flip.
The hair's still there.
But you're still fucking trying.
The hair's still there, but it looks mainly like it's on top of a Swede.
I'm going.
No, you stay there until I unlock the doors. So your first, what was your first match?
The first thing I remember doing, I did like a rumble at some village hall somewhere, but the first
Stop picking the job up.
the first thing that I remember vividly was doing a running at the Princess Theatre, and I think it was Bulk, as in Big Mike, when he was Bulk, when he was massive.
Love Bulk.
And it was him against Hot Stuff for the British title.
So do you mean Hot Stuff as in Stevie Knight or Hot Stuff as in Kirk? Okay, cool.
And I had to do a run-in with a keyboard, and I was so careful to try not to do anything bad. And
like Paul Hardcastle.
And I ran in, I smashed the keyboard over his head. He bled everywhere. It broke. It flew into the crowd. A bit flew into the crowd. Some kid picked it up, lobbed it over the ring, and hit another kid in the head with
Amazing.
it. I was like, and I didn't know anything about this until I was backstage and the crowd were kicking off. So that was my first proper big run probably in front of like 800 people on the show. So I was shitting my pants. So
the first thing you'd seen of a British show was a huge crowd.
Yeah. I mean, I think I did a rumble. I think I did a rumble after my first weekend. I didn't have any gear. And it's like, well, we've got a trainee rumble, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm doing it. This is my dream. So I did that, but the first big thing where I actually was in gear, I did a run-in, and obviously, like, at that time, Big Mike and Dave, the Pitbulls, were fucking huge and everywhere, so I was like, fuck, man, I'm shitting my pants here.
So it was the time when it was FWA was big.
Yeah.
I'd say the Pitbulls were a huge name on the tag scene, and the crowds were really good back then before it dropped off again. So you saw wrestling when it was...
Yeah, it was, I think, that boom then, and then it died off again.
It was the first ever modern golden era, wasn't it?
That was awesome.
Really. So then after that, because like your style of wrestling, I've seen a lot of your old matches, and they were blowing smoke. Actually, really good. And you worked up. Well, you worked from your penis. It's a good high flying style of wrestling, but you also work pretty. I don't want to say stiff, but you work snug and work tight. So how did that go down with a lot of the other wrestlers?
It was all right. I mean, I think I don't know. I was quite lucky, as you say. I had majestic hair, and I got booked quite a lot immediately. I was quite lucky. You see these guys that spend years in training schools trying to get out. and people booked me straight away because of my look. So I wasn't very good when I first started. Don't know if I still am, but I'm still around. I've been doing it all now. I just paint myself now, so I hide the wrinkles. But no, I was quite lucky. I got to work lots of cool people. Like, to be fair, the Knights put me in some fantastic matches. I worked Danny Collins, Steve Gray. You know, I worked some really cool old school stuff. Did some training with Johnny Saint. So it was always very cool because I did a lot of stuff. I've travelled a lot. I don't know if lucky is the right word because you have to put so much time into it. And as you know, it's a lot of hard work and a lot of putting up with shit from people.
I don't think it's luck really anymore. I think you're your own agent now, aren't you?
Yeah,
so you have to, like I was saying to Big John the other week, you have to, if you don't promote yourself, neither come well. So
hustle.
You got to hustle, and you do have to hustle, and you got to get out there and do that shit. So I wouldn't have said. I don't think luck really comes into it at that stage, and you get out there. You had a big tour in was it Italy?
Yeah.
With Rikishi, because that was around the time when Distraction happened. I was going to be on that, but something.
That was really good, man. It was like 2006. I think I was away for like a month with them.
Flatliner was on that.
Yeah, Flatliner.
And you had
Hayde Van.
Yeah, Hayde Van.
Mark Benson, who's sadly not here anymore.
Yeah, fucking hell, man.
You know, that's weird to go and spend time with people like that, and then all of a sudden horrible things happen in his life.
Yeah, he was a nice guy, Mark, as well. Real lovely fella.
Fantastic. All the Italians thought he was John Cena. I don't know how, but they did. But no, it was like good, like working in front of huge houses. Like I worked Vampiro. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that.
I think I've
worked Orlando Jordan, Matt Morgan. Just what in the ring with people like Rikishi is fantastic.
I bet Orlando Jordan liked the hair, didn't he?
Mate, he was a lovely guy, but he scared me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
he likes everyone, I think.
Well, he likes hair, and you like chocolate. So that's a marriage made in heaven. That was.
Other forms of chocolate are available.
So another question: What is your favourite deodorant, and why is it Lynx Africa? What is it about the musk?
I don't know what you're talking about. It just reminds me of a comment earlier we made.
That's Oh yeah, that was funny. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
So you went on. You went on then. You started your own promotion.
Yeah. When my leg was fucked, I didn't know if I was ever going to wrestle again. I thought, fuck it, I need to start my own promotion. It was something I never thought I'd do.
Well, HEW was a lot of fun times. I mean, I know obviously.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Obviously, you and Sam, don't collaborate with each other anymore. But the times we had there, I'm just speaking from our point of view. You gave us a lot of work, and we had an awful lot of fun on those shows.
It was fun, yeah. No, it was a good time. Like the thing is, like for me, I was 100% committed to my job, so HEW was really easy for me because I had no major commitment to it, if that makes sense. Do you know? Like I helped out a lot. We did all sorts of bits and pieces. Helped do like a lot of aspects of it. Especially when we're doing did the talent shows and we brought Palumbo over from America and stuff. It was all good. It was good. It was really good. And I really enjoyed it. And
they're very much like old school, what I'd call old school NWA wrestling shows where it's balls to the wall wrestling and a lot of violence.
Yeah, like the profile from doing them, I think we only did 3 there in the end, but the profile of the company raised loads and it was a pleasure doing it. And I still look back and there was some fond times, but fuck me, am I glad I started World War Wrestling.
Well, that's what we're going to come on to now. Your vision of World War Wrestling, it's a very unique take on wrestling. It's something we enjoy being a part of, and World War Wrestling is something that started off small and it's growing and growing and growing, and you've got now following much like us, people who are invested in the characters. Like I say, you spend a lot of time on production. Your storylines are all really, really interesting. And tell us about your, because it's totally different from anything that you've done in the past.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's always. If I was ever going to start a promotion, obviously I started it when my leg was fucked and I couldn't do much, and I was really depressed. And I was like, I was never going to be a promoter, but you know what? I'm here. This is what I love doing. Let's do it. I'm going to start it. It's kind of like it's called World War Wrestling for a reason, because I just thought, fuck you, I'm waging war on the world. But yeah, no, it was something I take a lot of pride in. I love the people we've got involved. They're all fucking good people. There's no politics bollocks. It's fucking loads of fun.
It's a very happy backstage,
Mate,
I have to
love
say.
it so much. It's like genuinely like, I'm gonna quote Ash Draven here, brother. It's a happy place.
It is. You've got a lot of good guys on there that you've given opportunity to that other people wouldn't, and you've brought out the best in them, really.
Oh mate, I love everyone involved. Like I like taking risks on new people. Like
Old Tom typing away, else smiling
and
to herself.
Still smug and smiling.
It looks like she's about to press a button and we're all going to be blown up or something.
I'm making a list.
I'm uncomfortable with it already.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing over there?
I'm deciding the order I'm going to take.
Like when the Joker smiles. That's a fucking thing.
I know what she's doing. These two are having far too much fun. I'm going to spoil it. It's like before a cat shits on your pillow, isn't it?
Well, they just come over and they're like, love me, and then they send you with their piss.
But World War Wrestling's a nice mix of, it's very current, like I say, it's very, it's work rate based, I'd say, a lot of very fast, high paced stuff, and then you've got stuff, slow paced stuff from people like me.
No, mate, I love the characters, like the way you fucking look when you come out, like with all the lighting, and that looks amazing. Like I challenge anyone to make it look better. It looks fucking dirty, grimy. It looks awesome.
It does. There's a real look about those shows. That look, they look like real, nasty underground fight.
I'll try. They can't all look like that, but again, it's like it depends on venue and what we can do. But with the first Battle of the Barns, I spent like 24 hours cleaning the fucking venue up because it wasn't.
Oh mate, that was hilarious. That place, the Barns, which is now an amazing venue. When we first went there, it was fucking. Mate. I don't suffer the cold. Been 23 stone, but I've never been so fucking cold.
That venue nearly killed me. I got pneumonia.
And the backstage area was like built up of loads of plywood walls, and Big John went, "Fuck me, it's like Takeshi's castle."
And we were hanging bin bags over the doors. Like the thing is, like it's legendary already. Like everyone was like, "That venue's a bit cold," and
a bit.
That's fucking mate for me.
I just didn't want to take any bumps because I thought I was going to shatter.
The thing is, like, I look back on it and I look at the Battle of the Barns promo. Check out on YouTube, motherfuckers. If you've not seen it, it's dirty, it's grimy, it was dusty. All our electronic equipment had fucking dust all over it. I got to the venue the day before and I was like, right, so you've decided to extend the venue and it's not finished, and I have a show in 24 hours.
Oh, man.
And I was there with, I had a handful of really fucking top people that come and help me and fucking gave me their time. We're throwing buckets of water down, sweeping up dust, clearing up all mate, it was a nightmare. I would have cancelled the show, but I had my money invested in it. And I was like, no, we're fucking going to smash this.
Well, you did well, and it turned out to be a hell of a fucking show. Like I say, check the promo out, but I remember standing there next to your good lady Jane, waiting to go out and
looking at her boobs.
She's got to look at Jane. She's got a good set of tits on her, Jane, bless her. But I was standing there with her and waiting for
that
Rico.
Could be feminism,
No,
feminism.
It's only feminism if I say it's objective.
I'm sure I've got Dan Reed there to clear it up if it is.
Thanks for being the voice of all women.
So waiting for Rico to cut his promo while my penis was travelling inside my body because it was so cold. And the longer he was out, I said to Jane, I'm going to punch him in the mouth. I'm going to punch him in the mouth. I'm going to punch him in the mouth. She said, no, don't. I said, if he's 2 minutes longer, he's getting smacked in the mouth. He went on another 5 minutes. So one of the first bits on that promo video is me going out there smacking him in the fucking chops.
I made sure I put that in there as well. Mate,
he was going out there doing the whole Jerry Lawler thing. You'll shut up. I'm like, it's fucking -20, you cunt. I want to get this over with.
I fucking love Rocco Casanova.
I fucking hate him.
I know, that's why I love it. I want to tag you guys up. He's a massive baby face now. Can you imagine that?
Fucking.
It'd be so good.
I'd be livid. I'd be fucking furious. And as soon as I see him, I just say something about I just want to windmill his face.
Okay. Fucking hell, I love that
so much. So you've had it. We've talked about your journey right through, but we've done it very quickly.
Yeah.
I also want to talk. We've got a very similar love of movies.
We have.
I
love a good Busty Housewives 5.
And a bit of dwarf, bit of dwarf porn.
I don't like that.
We like to try some movie. But you're a big fan of the horror movie genre.
I love horror,
particularly the pseudo B movie style stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I just like it. I love all horror. I love. I suppose it's a bit like when you're a kid and you watch wrestling. It's escapism. I love horror films. I love things that make you uncomfortable like that. Like a good horror movie leaves something with you, and like you go away from it, it doesn't leave you. It stays with you, and that's what I love about horror.
And you use a lot of it for inspiration for your character and for your shows.
Yeah, well, I do, especially do for Damien. Yeah, because like I don't do Damien for my own company, but I do it for lots of others, and it's good. It's pretty popular. I'm quite lucky, I guess, that I went away for a couple of years, came back, and World War Wrestling and Damien are completely separate entities. Do you know? So I guess I'm quite.
You're getting around a lot doing that now, and it's
Yeah,
I say it's good. It's good. You're brightening up a lot of shows that are probably not that great, and putting out, getting to put.
Are you being tactful?
It's really.
I find it unnerving.
Right, you sitting there smiling with your phone and him sitting there all tactful is really.
I'm just saying, all right, you're going out there and you're doing some shows that are shit. But you're taking a wealth of knowledge along with you and helping. You're like me. You like to.
What?
You like to. Why are you here? You like to just you like to cherry pick people you think have got potential and help them out.
Yeah. Of course.
That's what I'm basically trying to say.
Yeah. Of course, no. I love meeting you guys. I think you kids,
There's a soundbite.
Oh, for fuck's sake! But no, it's nice to be able to cherry pick people and bring people in that I think have got.
What's your favourite kind of cherry, Morello or black?
I fucking hate cherries. Like genuinely, with a passion, I hate them. I won't even eat a Bakewell, mate.
What?
Don't even give me one of your Bakewells.
I don't make Bakewells.
Tyler Allen.
I don't make Bakewells. I'm not saying like fucking 50 housewives.
Do you even bake, bro?
No. Do you even stiff though? But do you?
Do I stiff?
Do you?
What?
So listen.
Oh, sorry.
We're going to go on top of. You've just seen the new It film, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Tell us about it, because I haven't.
Oh, mate, I don't know. Like, if you love the original, like fucking Sim Curry's a legend. Everything he touched, everything he did was gold. Right back to legend. See, I did that. But yeah, I think Bill Skarsgård is it? I think he smashed it. He made Pennywise his own. I enjoyed the movie. They touched on elements that weren't in the last one, but it felt like an old friend. Like I knew the film, but it did feel like an old friend.
Did you read the book?
I know of the book and I've read extracts. I haven't read the whole thing, but I know.
I want to know how it stands up like next to the book.
Oh no! It's got things that weren't in the other one, but he's been really tactful about, because I know things in the book that aren't in the movie, and there's been people complain about it. But obviously you got to put into perspective that the Losers Club, they're young, they're underage, so it's a really hard thing to cover some of the. Some of the sort of sexual exploration that's in the book. So I think they did it right. Like they visualized stuff that made you kind of go, oh, that's a nod to that in the book. But they're not going to use that because it's But it was good. I loved the film. Some of the CGI was like a little bit questionable, but I can forgive that because it's your worst fears. All these guys' worst fears. So. In this day and age, we've got the beauty of CGI to make these things visible. But I fucking loved it. I'm going to see it again.
And talking to clowns, what about this new Bill Moseley film?
Mate, Crepitus. It's really.
I've had that before. It's no picnic. It's a mug's game.
I love Moseley. He's a fucking horror legend. I think he's extremely bad timing. I
love Bill Moseley
because this film's been in the making for a while, and so obviously the budget's going to be way lower than it, and it's unfortunate timing that it's going to coincide with it. But like Moseley's a legend. I'll watch it. It looks a lot of fun. But yeah, I just think it's a shame, isn't it? Everyone's gonna be like, oh yeah, it's a crappy B movie version of it. When I can't imagine it being that.
No,
it's unfortunate. It's about. I suppose like in some perspectives, it isn't about a clown. It's about the deadlights, if you like. Whereas Crepitus is about a fucking child eating clown.
From what I've seen, it looks terrifying. Bill Moseley is just awesome.
Well, I love some low budget horror films anyway, because the acting has to be so good they can't cover it. So the acting has to feel real.
What was the film that he did recently? Very recently, Creek something.
I'm not sure.
He's done another one recently where he was just there was no gimmicks. He was just a horrible fucking redneck in it, and
That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
yeah, him and his wife just befriended this woman who's broken down, and you think they're lovely, God-fearing people, and they're not.
Oh no, I've
but
not seen it.
He's awesome, man.
Oh mate, he's like you. Obviously, you'll never. He's obviously chop top and all that sort of stuff, but you never like. I wish Otis was my dad.
And the Rob Zombie film 31. A lot of people didn't get that, but I know you and I were both.
I wonder who that was. Did they?
Well, a lot of people.
You shady bitch.
A lot of people were a bit sceptical of it, but I know you and I are really excited about it because we thought it was going to be another. But it was a real good leave your brain at the door horror film.
I loved it. Like, fucking don't overthink horror. Enjoy it. Like all these. Going back to it, everyone's like, loads of people like, it's amazing. And there's loads of people slagging it off. I'm like, just fucking relax and enjoy it for what it is. 31 was such a trashy, fun movie. It's like Running Man plus acid.
Yes,
it's fucking
it
brilliant.
was.
Really good fun. And mate, Doomhead's just fantastic. I love that guy. He could be my second dad. Do you know? It's just like,
why are you collecting daddies?
mate, why? Because I never had one. But no, mate, like just fucking again, like they inspire me. You know, like Damien is like a face painted fucking weirdo, and I love that sort of. Oh, you're a face painted weirdo as well.
I am. I am. With a beautiful face like this, you've got to paint your face, haven't you? Otherwise, no one will take you seriously.
But no, like Doomhead, like. The only thing about 31 is like it needed more Doomhead, but it didn't.
Doomhead was very good, and the finale I thought was so subtle but awesome.
Beautiful, like so. Again, like people knock Zombie, but he's got a vision that is a fun vision. Do you know, it's a balls out horror exploration.
Well, he can't do anything wrong for me. I love him. But when you're on the road, your favourite snack you like to travel with, what is it, and why is it rice and pea?
I heard it was ackee and saltfish.
I don't.
And
How do you feel about a yam?
What about your favourite Toto song? But listen, it's been fun. It's been real.
I feel like I've got AIDS.
You're going to come to our academy today, and we're going to put you at the forefront of the academy to teach our. Yeah. We've got 15 wonderful students, boys and girls, and they're all going to be there. Looking forward to seeing Scrap Braddle.
Mate, they can just stroke my hair.
You stroke your ego, and that's that. So
that's
thank you.
Nickname.
Thank you for joining us here. Brett, is there anything you want to say to your fans? Or is there any way for people to get in touch with you should they need a good ring job? I said ring job.
He does have a very tidy ring.
Everybody knows where to find me.
Oh, I see.
Putting it about.
Batman, are we?
Everybody knows where to find me. I've got no message. Life's short, enjoy it. That's all.
Oh, I feel massively underwhelmed now.
Sorry.
Well, on that note, it's been real, bro. Hey, brah. And thank you very much. And toodle pip.
Now, where's my fucking cake?
Oh.
Thanks.
He once punched his mother in her mammary glands. It's angry Stu Allen of stiff right hand.
Thank you, Flatliner. So that's it for this week. Thank you very much to my guest, Brett Meadows, and to my little friend, Liam Dowe, for his input. Next week, we're going to be doing a show on the road on the way up to War, the Super Show, and Saturday, we're going to be recording live, and we're going to be trying to get some of the stars from the show on there and bring you that live from Norwich. So that's going to be interesting. Thank you all for listening again, and we'll see you next week. Toodle pip.
Stiff right hand.